What's up everyone, this is SliferKing here, and today join me for another one of our Garry's videos, where as you can see I am once again in the Tardis rewrite map. Specifically this one is the Smith 2 version of the Tardis rewrite. So this was the one he used from 2013 for a limited series in the second half of series 7. But the Tardis, while this one didn't last as long as the other ones, I think it's actually the shortest TARDIS run out of any of the modern series, with the exception obviously of like one-offs like the War Doctor. This TARDIS didn't actually last too long, only lasted for a year, but it technically didn't go away because it did spawn a successor to this. And finally, I can finally say I found it. So this is the Capaldi Tardis. So the difference is, if we just compare it, so this one is like brand spanking new, while this one has a little bit of, like, it's a little bit worn out. So we look inside, if we can get, there we go. So the first thing you'll notice is that the console design is pretty similar actually to the one that Matt Smith had. That's because it is pretty much the same console design. So it's got the same shape, it's got the same time vortex, you still got the rotating cylinders. There is one or two, seems to be lagging slightly, I'll just close the door. There we go. There is one or two slight differences between that TARDIS and this one. This one, it's kind of like a psychic connector, so like you... basically the TARDIS links up with your psychic memories or something like that. There's a slight update to the screen there, but other than that, the console pretty much remains the same. Now the screens are a little bit adjusted, and one of the main differences between this TARDIS and that one is actually, I believe this is one of the only few which has the ability to actually edit open the UI in the actual TARDIS instead of having to go press Q and then find it manually. So one or two other things. The color scheme is a little different. So let's just pop back over here. So as you can see, the color scheme with Matt Smith's TARDIS is green. I think in the actual show it's a little darker than that. But I think this one is virtually spot on the colour scheme. So it's a little bit like atmospheric orange. Some of the cylinders also have blue lights. And they've also added They've also added a whiteboard, and they added some bookshelves, which I think really give it a nice little bit of decoration on the side. Other than that, it is pretty much the same as Matt Smith's TARDIS. And just to make sure we can actually get a good view, let's just set Matt Smith's TARDIS down. And yes, of course, one thing I had never realised is that obviously you can have multiple TARDISes in one another. So that's just gonna settle down. But obviously the one thing we need to do is actually to fly it. So the control layout is pretty much identical to Matt Smith's TARDIS. The one difference is the sound, actually. So the handle is a little different. So you just heard Matt Smith's, so this is what Capaldi sounds like. And also the light animation is updated as well, which I like. The inside also goes a bit faster than the previous one. But other than that, pretty much everything is the same. That's more of a clunky one. Well, the other one sounded different. And of course, you have the time vortex. So this is, of course, Capaldi's from his tenure as the Doctor from 2014 to 2017. By the way, the reason that TARDIS isn't actually moving is because there was a bit of a problem actually trying to get the TARDIS down where I wanted it for some reason, so I actually had to lock it physically in place. So this is what the TARDIS looks like from the outside. Oh, uh-oh. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. Yeah, so that's what happens if you actually exit a TARDIS using the V key. Now, I think it is possible. Let's just fly up a bit. One thing that is quite intriguing is from the TARDIS you can actually, if you press V, if there are multiple TARDISes, you can actually find their interiors. I think most of the time it'll work. That looks promising over there, I think. So let's head in that direction. Now, one of the fun things you can actually do with TARDISes is if you actually position them right, you can actually position them outside their exterior, which is quite funny. So let's see if we can get a good... okay, I think I might have lost Capaldi's for now. What the hell? Oh well, never mind. Okay, so it looks like I accidentally lost Capaldi's TARDIS, so let's just spawn in a new one. There we go. So that didn't exactly go the way I planned. But yeah, so overall, let's see if we can get Matt Smith's TARDIS in. Interior. So we want Smith too. Yeah, I've got a lot of TARDISes. I think I need to remove some. So it isn't... Yeah, so that's why it was moving a bit. So, overall, this is a pretty good TARDIS. Like I said, this was one of the main ones. I'd say the main one that was missing. So I believe the only one I'm missing at the moment is the Jodie Whittaker TARDIS from 2018. I believe that's the only one that I'm missing in my collection. I could be wrong, but I think I've got virtually the complete set now of TARDIS. So, yeah. And just to answer one quick question, well, kind of. So, now that we've seen the two TARDIS, which one do I prefer? Well, I'm actually not going to answer that because now that I pretty much have every TARDIS, I'm actually thinking about doing a little bit of a special video. So, I'm actually thinking some point in the future, I'm finally going to do a top 10 video in Garry's mod. Because I've always thought about doing top 10 videos in Garry's mod. Like my top 10 mods, or in this case, my top 10 TARDIS mods. Because there are a lot of TARDIS rewrites out there. So I think maybe it was about time, now that I have Capaldi's TARDIS, to finally do that list. Oh, by the way, you can actually... So let's see that fly off. Oops. Okay, that didn't quite work. Sometimes if you press V out of TARDIS, you can like just get out of a TARDIS and see it dematerialize. Oh well, never mind. So yes. So at some point in the future, hopefully within the next few weeks, maybe as a New Year's special, I'm going to do a top 10 video of my 10 favorite TARDISes. With the exception of Jodie Whittaker's, because it's not available yet. I might mention that, I don't know. So, there was a look at the Peter Capaldi TARDIS for the TARDIS Rewrite mod. As per normal, if you want to try this mod out for yourself, the link will be down in the description below. And also, if you enjoyed today's video, then please make sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel to know when my newest videos are coming out. I hope you've enjoyed this week's video. And for now, this is SliferKing, once again, in the TARDIS, signing out.